A gunshot to the face, a slit throat so deep it nearly took his head off, and 27 stab wounds, and in the washing machine, a camera that had accidentally captured every single moment of what happened inside that bathroom. She said it was self-defense. The prosecution said it was something far darker: obsession, manipulation, and cold-blooded murder. So here is the question I want you to sit with for the next 15 minutes. Was Jodi Arias a battered woman pushed to her breaking point? Or one of the most calculated, manipulative killers in modern true crime history? By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to decide for yourself. Welcome to Dark Files. If you're new here, welcome to Dark Files, the channel where we pull back the curtain on the darkest, most disturbing, and most mind-bending criminal cases in history. We don't do surface level, we go deep. If this is the kind of content that keeps you up at night in the best possible way, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications so you never miss a case. The Dark Files family is growing every single day, and I want you to be part of it. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Because to understand how Travis Alexander ended up brutally murdered in his own shower, you first have to understand who Jodi Arias was before she ever met him. Jodi Ann Arias was born on July 9, 1980 in Salinas, California. By most accounts, her childhood was unremarkable on the surface, but there were cracks. Her parents, Bill and Sandy Arias, described a child who was frequently in trouble. Her mother reportedly kept a wooden spoon she used for discipline, and Jodi later characterized her childhood as abusive. Her parents, however, disputed this. That tension between Jodi's version of events and everyone else's will become a running theme in this story. Jodi dropped out of high school but was described by people who knew her as intelligent, artistic, and deeply creative. She loved photography, she waitressed. She floated from relationship to relationship. And then, in 2006, she walked into a business conference in Las Vegas, and she met Travis Alexander. Here's what I want you to think about, because this is important. Have you ever met someone who completely changed the direction of your life? For Jodi Arias, Travis Alexander was that person. But what started as attraction quickly became something far more dangerous. Travis Victor Alexander was 28 years old, a rising motivational speaker, a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and by everyone who knew him, a genuinely charismatic, likable man. He worked for a company called Prepaid Legal Services and was building a name for himself as an inspirational figure. By early 2007, Jodi Arias had converted to Mormonism, largely for Travis. Within months of meeting him, she was baptized into his faith. She was all in. The two began a romantic relationship, though Travis, bound by the expectations of his faith, characterized it publicly as something more casual. He told friends Jodi was just a friend. Privately, their relationship was intensely sexual and deeply complicated, and that contradiction was the powder keg that would eventually explode. By late 2007, Travis had begun pulling back from Jodi. He told friends he found her obsessive. He was pursuing other women, including a woman named Mimi Hall, whom he would invite on a trip to Cancun, Mexico in the summer of 2008. Jodi, meanwhile, had relocated from Palm Desert, California to Mesa, Arizona, where Travis lived. She told people it was for a fresh start. Those close to Travis believed it was to be closer to him. And then the incidents started. Travis's tires were slashed, twice. His email accounts were hacked. His Facebook was accessed without his knowledge. Friends reported receiving strange messages. Travis confided in friends that he believed Jodi was responsible, but he kept letting her back in. This is where I want to stop and ask you something directly. Why do you think Travis kept allowing Jodi back into his life, even when he feared her? This is a question psychologists and true crime analysts have debated for years. Some say he genuinely still had feelings for her. Others say he underestimated how dangerous she truly was. Whatever the reason, it cost him everything. By the spring of 2008, Travis had officially moved on. He was excited about the Cancun trip with Mimi Hall. He was growing his business. He was looking forward, but Jodi Arias was not done. On June 2, 2008, Jodi left her home in Eureka, California. She had since moved back to Northern California and began driving. She borrowed gas cans from an ex-boyfriend. She rented a car in a city far from her home to minimize her digital trail. She dyed her hair from blonde to brown. These are not the actions of someone acting in self-defense. These are the actions of someone planning something. On June 4, 2008, Jodi Arias arrived at Travis Alexander's home in Mesa, Arizona. What happened inside that house is a matter of disputed testimony, but what the evidence tells us is chilling. The two spent much of the day together. There were photographs taken, some of Travis in the shower, smiling, unaware of what was about to happen. Those photos were time-stamped. They became critical evidence. At 5:29 p.m., the camera captured Travis standing in the shower. By 5:32 p.m., the photos showed Travis slumped, bleeding in the corner of that same shower. In between those 3 minutes, Travis Alexander's life was taken. The camera was later found in the washing machine. Jodi had apparently tried to destroy the evidence by running it through a wash cycle. But the memory card survived, and the deleted photos were recovered by forensic analysts. When Travis Alexander's body was discovered on June 9, 2008, 5 days later, by friends who had grown worried when he stopped responding to calls and messages, what they found was horrific. Travis had been shot once in the face with a .25 caliber handgun. He had been stabbed 27 times in the chest, back, and head. And his throat had been slashed so severely that he was nearly decapitated. The medical examiner determined that he was likely still alive during much of the attack. The brutality of the crime shocked investigators immediately. This was not a robbery. This was not random. This was personal. Deeply, terrifyingly personal. Act 4, the lies, all of them. 9 o'clock to 11:30. Here is where the Jodi Arias case becomes unlike almost any other in true crime history. Because Jodi Arias did not just lie once. She didn't construct a single cover story and stick to it. She lied in layers, and each time she was caught, she simply constructed a new lie on top of the old one. Lie number 1. When detectives first questioned Jodi, she denied ever being at Travis's home the day he died. She claimed she had last seen him weeks earlier. Lie number 2. After forensic evidence, including her handprint and Travis's blood and the recovered photos, placed her at the scene, she changed her story. Now, she said she had been there. But 2 masked intruders had broken in, killed Travis, and let her go. She described a male and female attacker in specific detail. There was zero physical evidence of any intruders. Lie number 3. Finally, when it became clear that the intruder story was collapsing, Jodi changed her story one final time. Now she said she had killed Travis, but it was self-defense. She claimed Travis had become physically abusive, that he had attacked her, and that she had acted to save her own life. In a 2008 interview with journalist Troy Hayden, while still maintaining the intruder story, Jodi made one of the most quoted statements in true crime history. "No jury will ever convict me. I'm innocent, and you can mark my words on that one." What do you think? Was this confidence, or was this manipulation? Because the woman who said those words was still, at that point, lying to investigators about even being at the scene.